Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and for this video, we're going to be diving into my latest updates to my massive LEGO city, New Ducktropolis. This city has been in the works for about a year and a half, and over that time, it has evolved a lot. There have been a ton of changes and even a complete reconfiguration of the layout of the city. But I've finally gotten it to the point where I think that I'm pretty happy with the current state, and now it just needs a lot of polishing. Of course, this city is absolutely always going to be a work in progress, and I'm sure a lot of folks will have a ton of ideas in the comments, and that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what you have to say in the comments, so thank you so much for commenting in advance, and let's go over to the city right now. And before we jump into this, yes, I know my city is probably one of the most crowded and congested cities that have been ever made out of Lego bricks. I know a lot of folks tend to try to make their cities feel a lot more easy to live in and breathe a little bit and have space for all the buildings to shine. But you see, here on the Duckbricks channel, we are operating under pretty limited space, and while it is my dream to one day open up a Lego-oriented museum and showcase a much bigger city there with a lot more room to spread out, hopefully the streets would be a little less congested, a little bit less like California or New York traffic on the busiest day of the year. But, you know, I am working with limited space here in the basement, and I did want to achieve a couple of major things with the city. Number one was showcase all of the modular or modular-compatible Lego cities, and number two, just have a fun, zany, and vibrant world. So that was what I kind of wanted to do with this city, and let's jump into it right now. So here is the entirety of New Ducktropolis. As you can see, you have a little bit of an area where you can step on inside the city and view what's going on from the inside. But overall, every single bit of the city is absolutely jam-packed. It is very hard to see what is going on here, but I'm going to try to explain this in as clear words as possible just so you can be able to get a full tour of the city and even see some of the functionality in action. The city is broken up into multiple different districts. There is a Monkey Kid district here. Maybe this is like a Chinatown area. We have a Ninjago City district over here featuring all the Ninjago City modulars, my favorite modular compatible buildings. There's even a restaurant row as we go towards the back of the city. There's just a row of a ton of different restaurants where a street race is currently taking place. And then you even have a Marvel area where all of the different heroes and villains from the Marvel universe are battling it out over in this section over here. Finally, the heart of the city, the very center, is where the law is laid down. The town hall, the police station, the fire station, the bank. This is where the city gets serious. And of course, there's a lot to do in between. There's a lot of stuff to see here, so let's jump on in, starting off from the entry point into the city, which is the Ninjago sector. Here in the Ninjago sector, we are featuring all four of the Ninjago modulars, from the original Ninjago City to Ninjago City Markets, Ninjago City Gardens over here, and then Ninjago City Docks. Of course, there are all sorts of little stories being told inside the cities. We have new ninjas Eren and Sora trying to explore the city for themselves. Maybe this is part of the crossroads, and then we have an invasion of cursed specters from the Cursed Realm. The ghosts from Ninjago Possession have overtaken this area of the docks, and somehow seem to have developed an immunity to water, so watch out, because normally in Ninjago, water is their weakness. Moving on to here, we have some cameos from classic LEGO characters, such as famed adventurer Johnny Thunder, and of course, since these are the merged realms, we have all different inhabitants, like an eagle from the realm of the wildness, LEGO Legend of Chima, a little bit of a cameo of Julius the monkey as well, which is just a pretty rare minifigure to get, and then up at the front, we have some sig figs of other folks who competed on LEGO Masters with me. For instance, we have the two Tims here, we've got Emily, and there's a lot of other sig fig cameos that make their way over the city. Of course, we have a mix between licensed and non-licensed figures here, although predominantly the characters are Ninjago oriented, and I even created my own minifigures to kind of represent their own factions. Who knows where these guys are from, but definitely they seem like they mean business. They're white-hooded warriors racing through the streets, and of course, the ninja are training disciples of their own. Lots and lots of ninja disciples training in white and red robes, getting ready to become the next defenders of Ninjago. Of course, there seems to be some sort of a multiversal showdown here. Clone troopers are facing off against wolf mask warriors from Ninjago, where the city streets are overrun by the devious villains. And of course, there's just a lot more to see. From a Minecraft cameo here to a specialized misprint of a Ninjago stone warrior there, which of course has made its way into the city, there's a lot going on. On the upper levels, the ninja have their hands full thanks to an invasion from Imperium, where you can see the wolf Imperium hunters are attacking with their Photak beasts, getting ready to chain up any dragons that might dare to come near the city. Of course, soaring above, we have some custom models of Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender because, of course, he's found his way to a home in this city as well. And somehow the Fortnite battle bus is hovering above the city too. I guess we're getting ready to drop onto New Ducktropolis. Up top, we've got some cameos of new Ninjago figures such as Noct, the elemental master of brute force from Ninjago, looking over the city with a watchful eye. And here's our first hint of another type of invasion in the city, where we have a Tri-Droid here from Star Wars, and that's not the only one that seems to be climbing all around the city roofs. Of course, Ninjago City is home to many different inhabitants. We've got Serpentine, we've got Ice Samurai, we even have some hunters from the First Realm, some regular Serpentine over here going out of Laffy's karaoke bar. Lots and lots of great things to see all around the city. And of course, the highlight is this pillar of every single printed specialized brick I have gotten across my many adventures in LEGO conventions so far. With, of course, the ultimate duck brick sig fig up top there, with printed arms, a specialized print for the waist, and even a little collar for the suit and the duck bricks cape. Of course, I am surrounded by ducks, and one fun thing could be an Easter egg: count how many ducks you see throughout the city. Of course, the duck invasion has just begun, and there are many, many ducks and even nifflers who kind of look like ducks themselves all around the city itself. As we rotate onto the back here, oh look, another duck. See how many you can find. We have the side of the city being showcasing the LEGO Friends Airbnb sort of castle bed and breakfast, which is a really nice building, kind of capping that off, hinting that there's more to the LEGO Friends district. And then over here, we have some more Asian-inspired designs. This is the Lunar New Year modular compatible spring garden here, so that is a nice little setup there. And you can see it's connected across the street with an open garden right next to the botanical garden from LEGO Friends, which I've converted into a modular building, which sits very nicely right in its place right there. There seems to be some sort of a chase going on. Mola Ram is running away from Indiana Jones and his trusty compatriots, where you can see the multiverse has truly opened up in this city. Now, as we go alongside here, you can see there is a parade that's being hosted for the Lunar New Year. The celebrations have begun, and a parade is racing down the street. But of course, that's not all on the street. You see, I've tried to incorporate all sorts of fun, licensed vehicles to showcase the multiverse coming together. Over here, you have a hotel, which is overlooking the beautiful garden. I'm sure that the charge for a room in that hotel is very expensive. But wait, what's this? The clone troopers, the shinies from Phase 2, are camped out on top of the roof, waiting in anticipation of some sort of attack. I don't know what attack they're anticipating, but oh, look over there. There's a droid on a single trooper aerial platform, and the attack has begun. The city is being overrun right now by droid tri-walkers, and they are all around the city. There's a ton of them just climbing all around. Those clones better be ready for the fight of their lives. Of course, down near the lower areas, we have the amazing LEGO City downtown set. This is a regular LEGO City set, but just one that looked really, really good. I was a big fan of it and had to include it here. You've got the LEGO Marvel taxi parked back there. Presumably the taxi worker is on a break. The car from Shang-Chi, a Jeep from Jurassic Park, which is again another iconic vehicle here, and then just some other vehicles racing down in motorcycles. We've got the Ghostbuster 2016 Chris Hemsworth character on his motorcycle there. Say what you will about that movie, but that is a really nice looking minifigure, so of course the Ghostbusters have to be patrolling the streets. For whatever reason, a gorilla is on the loose. Could it be Gorilla Grodd before his evolution? You must capture him before he turns into the final villain. Of course, next up here we have all sorts of smaller buildings. I tried to fill up as much space as possible, so here we've got some of the smaller creator mini modular buildings here, which you can see oriented here. The Up House made a lot of sense to include here as well. And on the back, you have a DC Superhero Girls Cafe there, which also made sense to include here just as a smaller and more narrow building. One of the rarest LEGO sets I own, the LEGO Truck Show, is patrolling these streets here. It was an inside tour exclusive set. And alongside it, we have the original LEGO Truck Show set, which was from the very, very early days of building LEGO trucks. So of course, I had to showcase both of them next to each other. Moving into here, the city is always under construction. We have a construction crane building up a brand new modular building, and yes, this is an official LEGO set from the Bricklink A-Full Designer program. And as we rotate around here, we have the Marvel corner. The Avengers Tower is ready with the Avengers blasting off Iron Man, War Machine, Scarlet Witch, Wong going through a portal because, of course, Wong is the peak Avenger. And of course, at the top of the Avengers Tower, we have another specialized duck brick sig fig right there, taking in all of the fun sights. And this was actually one that I made for my LEGO Masters Season 4 Victory Celebration, which I hosted in New York in December of last year, and that was a ton of fun. Of course, you've got Tony Stark, I guess another multiversal variant, jumping out of the window here, ready to don his Iron Man suit, and even Captain America, who seems to have been flung out of the window by some sort of an attack going on the inside, and you can see a bit of a hint of that in there. Moving onwards to the Daily Bugle, of course, there are all sorts of different patrols going around. There's an Iron Legion member, and look, the Green Goblin. Norman, Norman, Norman. It's time for the Goblin to come out and play. And you can see he's bursting out of the Daily Bugle, but good thing Spider-Man is on the case to stop him, with all sorts of different Easter eggs being factored around this building here. You better watch out for Norman Osborn, though, before he terrorizes the entire city. Moving on from there, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is the main governing area of the city. So here, of course, we have the town hall featuring all sorts of different flags from different countries. And of course, the most important flag up on top, where Duckbrick seems to have found himself atop the flag as well, dancing atop the flag because he is, of course, the mayor of the city. Not the mayor, the emperor of the city. He's definitely the good guy here. But of course, down here, we have another Duckbricks variant in the Duck car from the LEGO Batman movie for the Penguin. And of course, he's holding the special duck accessory right there, which is always a fun one. And another duck cameo in the city. Up here, we have some Blacktron outlaws up to no good sneaking around the top of the town hall. Don't know what that's about, but we even have a big statue of the wooden duck, the classic LEGO icon, atop this building to showcase for all to see. There's some Imperium hover cars flying around, an invasion from another realm, and Batman has been called with the bat signal up on this roof, but it looks like he's having to face some multiversal threats from the world of LEGO Marvel with a Chitauri hovering right above him. There's actually a couple of them flying around the city here, with the Leviathan being commanded by the Chitauri, flying around the city ready to cause chaos, with a lot of statues of the older wooden toys as well. Over here, the Doctor is in the house. The 12th Doctor is battling Daleks atop this roof, and look, there's even a Fortnite llama that seems to have dropped from the skies itself, another rare LEGO collectible. Next up, we have our construction crew hard at work. The LEGO exosuits are building the next phase of the monorail, and we'll get back to the monorail in 1 second. Moving on to the main city street here, I just want to call out all the different fun little pop culture references here, from the van from Home Alone, a Gotham City police car, the car from Harry Potter and Arkham Asylum van, the DeLorean from Back to the Future for LEGO Ideas, we have a classic LEGO red bus, the Jurassic Park lime green Jeep, one would say the most iconic one there, the standard Ghostbusters Ecto one, of course, the Duckmobile, the Speed Racer car, another GCPD car, the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo, the BTS ice cream truck, we have the Shield truck over there from LEGO Marvel, the Shellraiser, the smaller version from the Michael Bay movies, and then we have Ant-Man's van, Ghost Rider's Dodge Charger, Ant-Man's van, and Luigi's Pizzeria van. Oh no, Luigi, hide your CEOs, guys. Moving on from there, we've got all sorts of other vehicles that are more regular city vehicles, like these ice cream truck back here, a garbage truck, and then you get to Diagon Alley, a more Harry Potter oriented set of buildings here, where you have, of course, Gringotts Bank being showcased here. It is under attack by a droid right now. One of the flying cars is flying off the roof, but then there's another one, again from the multiverse down to the bottom, and multiple versions of the night bus. We've got one there, we've got another one right there, and a third night bus here, and there's even one more night bus coming out next year, so there's going to be even more being added to the city. Up at the frontier, we have some creator mini modulars and some of the beautiful LEGO Friends buildings. I really love the art school, which is just a really nicely done building. It just looks really good on this side of the street. And then, of course, you have somebody's modern house where they're just kind of living, enjoying life, and a nice little LEGO Ideas GWP car parked down there as well. Of course, you have the classic Penguin slushy van here, a van for Arkham Asylum. Maybe Sophia Falcone is on the loose, or Sophia Gigante as she's known now. And of course, all sorts of other buildings as we get into this area here. Here is another Avengers Tower. Maybe this is like the West Coast Avengers. You know, you've got the main Avengers Tower here, and then you've got the secondary one right here. Of course, at the top of this Avengers Tower, we have Miles Morales preparing to perform his leap of faith. Hopefully, he's keeping away from Liz Allen, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, or any of the other Spider-Man love interests, though. We should keep him over in this corner, you know? Just let him cook over there. He can promote his music over there. Over here, though, we have the Lego Monkey Kid sector, and this is a really nice set of modular-oriented buildings, which are all sort of fully detailed. They have all sorts of different stories being told throughout the city here, and I just love being able to showcase these. This is actually the official configuration of the Lego Monkey Kid modulars. There's a little mini monorail kind of going through there, advertising the Pigsy's food, and there's even a Ferris wheel where there seems to be an invasion of dragons from the D&D universe all throughout this city. Lots and lots and lots of dragons have invaded, and there are even more on the way. So this looks like an army has occupied the town. We'll see if Monkey Kid is going to be able to battle them off. But then, as you move away from the Monkey Kid area, you get to the beautiful new modular building, the Tudor Corner here, which is just a nice little street corner for this part of the building. And then you get to more of the Lego Friends buildings, like the massive Lego Friends Tower, which is towering over the city here. And the Monkey Kid space station has outposted itself, kind of constructed itself on the top there, sending beacons to outer space. As we rotate around this area, of course, who are you gonna call? The Ghostbusters. Whenever there's some sort of an attack, the Ghostbusters are ready to go in their firehouse headquarters here. There's a zombie walking the streets. There are ghosts up at the top, and it looks like they're also being attacked by the battle droids up here, but the Ghostbusters are facing off against the droids. There's an epic battle taking place, and even a Dreams Castle just sitting atop this building because you never know what's going to happen in New Ducktropolis. Of course, a mono track winds around here, and we'll take a look at that in action in a second. But of course, next up we have the Lego Friends Unity Street. This right here is a really, really nice building for Friends, and right behind it you have more modular buildings which interface with each other for this corner market street. So as you go into the street, you can find all sorts of other buildings hidden around here. Of course, I had to make Diagon Alley an actual alley, so oh my, Wonder Woman has crashed. Gal Gadot down. Somebody call her acting coach and rescue her and maybe teach her a little bit along the same time. I don't know why I'm being so spicy today. But we do have an actual alley here where you have the Diagon Alley being showcased in a very, very narrow street, which is really, really nice. And that was something I really wanted to emphasize, where as you look down the street, you can see that it clearly is supposed to be an alleyway and not just an open street with a road, which was something that was super important to me. Moving on the back here, we've got all sorts of other Lego Friends buildings. We have the Assembly Theater, and then even a Bricklink Designer Program Diner, which I'm sure these are kind of just placeholder buildings I'm going to use until I expand the city even more. Of course, next up, we have the X-Men Mansion. I wanted to keep this one a little bit isolated from the other buildings because it's a little bit shorter, and I wanted to make it feel like it's more on the outskirts of the city here. And of course, it is modular compatible, but I did want it to be kind of standalone on its own. The Quinjet is flying above the building here. Looks like the Avengers are doing a team up with the X-Men, but oh wait, oh no. Sandman looks like he's attacking these city streets here with his rubble tornado of sand. He's throwing police cars all over the place. Looks like a portal is opened up to the Marvel Savage Lands as well, with dinosaurs roaming the streets around the X-Men X-Mansion. Who can stop him? Honestly, this is not the X-Men's fault. Spider-Man needs to come over here and deal with his guys, so hopefully once Spider-Man dispatches of the Green Goblin, he can then take out Sandman, who is causing quite a ruckus over here. Moving on, we do have, next up, the rest of the buildings in our restaurant row, where a rapid street chase is taking place. All sorts of vehicles are vying for the top spot, and of course, the Duck motorcycle is in #1 place. Legally, nobody is allowed to win the street race except for the Duck-themed cars. So, of course, the Duck-themed car is in the lead, but there are lots and lots of other Easter eggs here, like Rocket Racer from the original LEGO games, all sorts of Speed Racer vehicles near the front. The Tron bikes are here as well. Just all sorts of LEGO Easter eggs and racing Easter eggs here that I wanted to factor in, and the original Shell Razor from the animated series is there as well. Of course, they're racing right down Restaurant Row, where you have the Jazz Club, where you can get a drink and maybe some food. You have the Parisian restaurant Chez Albert, so very, very nice to see. Maybe kind of have a more romantic dinner up top here. You have the Downtown Diner here, which is a more kind of retro American style of diner, so you can really choose what type of food that you want. And then finally, you have the Cafe Corner, a cafe down to the bottom and a hotel up top as well, which of course is bordered by Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, where he is in a pitched battle against Gargantos, another breach in the multiverse. Of course, all sorts of different characters are lining the street. Gru from Despicable Me and his host of minions are here as well. Mr. Krabs has found his way here. One of my buddies, Lars from Germany, his sig fig is also here too. Just had to give a shout out to some of my friends in the LEGO world. And of course, lots and lots of elephants are roaming the street. Maybe they're getting ready to watch the new Lion King movie, but I would recommend they watch Sonic 3 instead. Moving on to here, we have the LEGO store, where this is actually a Bricklink A-Full Designer Program set, so this is a modular LEGO store, and that brings us all the way back to the front, where you can see that was the chaos of New Ducktropolis. But there's one more thing I want to showcase, and that is the monorail. I'm going to be honest, I have not run this monorail in a long time, and I have changed around the way the city works a lot since I've ran it. So if it falls over, well, at least that will be good entertainment for the camera. So the way this works is you have to open this up, press the button to turn the monorail on. We'll see if the batteries still work. And boom, yes they do. Okay, so the monorail starts its journey over at Ninjago City, where you can see there's a switch ready for it to move around and start to course through the city. It goes right above the roads here, where you can see it is passing the main district of the city for the governing body, goes up a ramp, and then it goes past some of the minifigures here. You can see Kai running alongside there, snaking around the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters. You then go up another level, and it goes across these city streets here, all the way through this area where the rest of the track is still being built, and then finally turns around, and there you go. The full monorail has completed its track. Of course, we can watch it continue to course around the side here, going down the track, and we will have it come to a final stop right in the center of the city to really showcase the power of the connected Duckbricks City modular ecosystem right here. Altogether, I know a lot of comments are going to say that this city is extremely, extremely chaotic. I do get a lot of comments about that, honestly, and I think that yes, I agree, it is very chaotic. It is very hard to parse what's going on, but that's kind of what I just personally like to do with LEGO. I love to make my own little scenes, pack everything full of detail, and it's my city, so I'm going to do what I want with it. Of course, I would love to have a much bigger layout, and maybe that's the next step, is to expand this city out with a much bigger display, but that might have to wait until I open up a future LEGO museum. As of right now, this has been our tour of New Ducktropolis with a newly erected LEGO minifigure statue right atop of the LEGO store that absolutely is not compliant with whatever laws they have here about the height that you can make buildings. But you know what? He's there anyway because the LEGO corporate office has to advertise their stores. That's all for this tour of my city. There have been a lot of updates and changes since my last video, and I kind of just do this in the background for fun. I never really get to do a dedicated video showcasing the city, so I figured, why not finally make a full-on video showcasing the current state of the city? And that is all for now. I will end with this look at an actual LEGO Masters prop. The blimp from the LEGO Masters show has made its way here, flying above the city. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my LEGO city.